The internet did not move. 50 Cent has ruined music careers with a single Instagram post. We have seen T hold on to his status as the Southern monarch. However, the recent occurrences have crossed a musical threshold that many people thought was unbreakable. This is more than just rap feud music these days. Whoever sells more records or singles doesn't matter. 50 Cent went burnt music earth in a post that stunned the music business before being deleted from the timeline. The music of Curtis 50 Cent Jackson was more than just a slap at T. He attacked his wife, Tiny Harris, with charges and offensive language so terrible that the music industry is still in disbelief. He referred to her as a hooker and made terrible, unsubstantiated remarks about her health, including suggesting HIV. In a sense, 50 Cent has hit the nuclear button. Why now? And how did a musical quarrel that started out as competitive banter turn into such a big character assassination? 50 has targeted Ja Rule, Rick Ross, and Floyd Mayweather. However, those were battles on the playground in contrast. By bringing up a man's wife and her health, 50 has turned the plot from trolling to something even worse. Has music finally been too much for the G-Unit entrepreneur, or is this a calculated move to deflect attention from his own legal issues? Tonight, we are analyzing every word in that disgusting post. Music, the background of the struggle between the King and the Unit music, and the reasons why one of hip-hop's most enduring friendships would have turned into competition at this specific music era. The most lethal aspect of 50 Cent's music is this. The T. I am. Drama. So put on your seatbelt. In the digital realm of hip-hop, chaos is nothing new. However, we are currently seeing a complete musical collapse of the unwritten norms music of interaction. For many years, 50 Cent and T's musical battle was seen as a high-stakes chess match between Southern pride and New York grit. During the 2000s, was primarily limited to verbose speech music and rivalry over who is the greatest musician. But that friendly rivalry is officially over. 50 Cent didn't just move on. He flipped the entire board, setting the room on fire. That music helps explain why 50 used such derogatory language about Tiny Harris in this specific post, which made life-altering health accusations. Music is the ultimate provocateur, so we need to look at the 50 Cent approach. Music is the foundation of Curtis Jackson's enterprise. As soon as Auto Rob was released in 1999, he cautioned everyone that no one was safe. By using bullying as a marketing strategy, he destroyed the careers of Benzino and Ja Rule by making them the subject of a global joke. But by concentrating on Tiny, 50 music has transcended rap war and entered the territory of personal destruction. Music street problems or dominance in the industry were the main causes of these conflicts. The aforementioned post did not appear overnight. Music tension had been growing for months. In contrast to 50's aggressive style, T has been speaking out more and more about music, his legacy, often presenting himself as the more learned and astute millionaire. In 50 Cent's world, any attempt to establish control is seen as an act of music war. T recently questioned 50's street reputation or his impact in a podcast interview, which set off the spark. While T Music was playing checkers and talking about records and impact, 50 was preparing music for a tactical strike meant to bring the most emotional and societal anguish. It is insulting to refer to a woman as a hooker in any circumstance. But in the hypermasculine world of hip-hop, attacking a man's wife is considered the ultimate sin. 50 is attempting to dehumanize Music T by publicly damaging Tiny's reputation. Music 11111. He's not only saying that T isn't a gifted rapper, but he's also implying that T can't even protect his family from disgrace in public. The most musical aspect of this message, however, is the mention to HIV, where 50 Cent has truly crossed a line that many believe cannot be forgiven. Stigmatizing a medical condition like HIV in order to win an online debate is a tactic that belongs in a different, darker era in a community that has fought for decades to eradicate the stigma and misinformation around the infection. Using music as a means of retribution or dominance seems like a betrayal of the culture. advances in empathy, public music, and health are under attack. The assertions music are obvious, not just tiny. It is implied by carelessness that 50 Cent music no longer cares about his reputation or the potential for serious legal action. He's running on pure music adrenaline, unadulterated. The timeline up to this outburst shows several instances of microaggressions. T had been subtly making fun of the G-Unit leader on several music platforms. In the meanwhile, 50 Music was occupied with his last lap tour and growing music TV empire. When 50 is this successful, he usually ignores the hubbub. Music but T. I am. The most recent comments about his music must have touched a chord. Perhaps it was the title King of the South. Perhaps T was suggesting that 50's recent successes are less about the present and more about nostalgia. Regardless of the reason, the response was excessive. It is also necessary to consider the distraction factor. 50 Cent is a master of musical deception. He regularly plans a massive event on social media whenever he faces negative headlines over his own business ventures, legal challenges, or internal pressure to shift public opinion. Is it possible that this nuclear tweet was an intentional attempt to divert attention from another problem? Or is this just 50 being 50, the musician who once declared he had no heart in music demonstrates it each time he holds a smartphone? The immediate reaction from the music industry was stunned silence. When someone is trolled by 50, the replies are frequently filled with smiling emojis and G-Unit chants. This time, the vibe was different. The music seemed to be going too far. 50 Cent's savagery is nothing new to those who have followed his Get Rich or Die Tryin' album. Even the most fervent supporters, meanwhile, are questioning the logic behind degrading a woman's health. Music, where does it end? One would wonder. You are not allowed to listen to your rival's wife or health. Then, nothing is sacred. This first part of the story reveals a fundamental shift in 50 Cent's perspective on music. He is no longer only defending music. He is attempting to deprive his opponent of his honor. T, who is known for his rapid vocabulary music and conceited manner, has to decide now. When his family is being publicly humiliated, does he try to maintain some dignity in his music? Or does he fall music into the muck with 50? It's possible that the rap industry won't be able to bounce back from the impending collapse. When we look at the historical context, we find that 50 and T had a friendly connection for a long time. The same music stages were used. They treated each other with respect. They both also knew what it took to succeed in the industry. Seeing that respect erode into hooker accusations and health shaming serves as a depressing reminder of how fragile peace is in the world of celebrity moguls. There was more to the nuclear post than just a post. It was a declaration that the earlier rules were no longer in force. Music, the declaration of war, is the actual combat. It's getting more and more gory. When 50 Cent blogged about those devastating music accusations, he didn't only invite Tiny Harris to reply. All Harris family members were invited to the arena. Throughout the history of hip-hop feuds, artists have exchanged lines and insults, but it is rare to see a matriarch targeted with such intentional animosity. The effects of music have been felt right away. 2222 from the music and recording studio to the comment section, this could result in a high-stakes legal battle. In defense of loyalty to T, who is known for both his calmness and his fury, the Harris household's initial reaction was master-class music. Music was more than simply a tweet. Hey, he headed straight to the booth. Songs like What Bully and Right One Music War began to circulate, branding 50 as a spy and a keyboard fighter. The music was shocking even to the 1950s core fan base. However, even if T was successful on the artistic front, his son King and Tiana elevated the situation to a point of contempt. Music King Harris uploaded images of 50's late mother, Sabrina Jackson, and told 50 to go dig her up in a vindictive move that sparked online uproar. In addition to playing defense through song, King made it apparent that the Harris family's goal was to demolish every bridge 50 had ever built. This brings us to the most dangerous aspect of this escalation. The 50 specifically assert societal and legal responsibility for music. Using the term hooker is one thing. It's a common but disgusting term in these circles. But the weaponization of a certain illness, like HIV, music may be disastrous from a legal standpoint. When it comes to lying in general, such as informing his millions of fans that someone has a dreadful sickness music or is unchaste music, defamation laws are harsh in the United States. 50 Cent might now face a multi-million-dollar defamation lawsuit. Music. These are real charges that affect partnerships, insurance brands, music, and the personal safety of the specific artist. There is a social reckoning occurring outside of the courtroom, in contrast to a conventional rap beef where things stay on the wax. Music outside the courthouse. The Protect Black Women campaign, which has become quite prominent in recent years, has called attention to this issue as a classic example of the toxicity of the industry music. Critics are bringing up 50 Cent's history of singling out black women from Nat Rant's song. This musical assault on Tiny is the final straw for a lot of people. Even in the G-Unit camp, the quiet of the music is overpowering. 50-year-old associates are typically willing to help him. However, while talking about a man's marriage in a woman's health music, the code changes. From 50 is the king of trolls to 50 is actually turning into a cultural liability. The tone has shifted. Interestingly, since the boys entered the conflict and the derogatory music comments became viral, 50 Cent has remained largely mute on social media in response to the Harris family's musical onslaught. In order to focus on promoting Power, Music Origins, and his upcoming films, 50 began deleting many of the more offensive messages. Is this a statement of regret through music? Or is it a deliberate retreat because music his legal team finally convinced him? Instead of an apology, music stillness in Curtis Jackson's reality is frequently the sound of him reloading. There are already rumors that he is working on a documentary-style expose on the Harris family. He has already completely destroyed rivals like Rick Ross musically by using this strategy. The course of this clash has changed from one of Rizzu's war music to one of family honor. T recently told reporters that his goal was not to defeat Music 50, but rather to use music to protect his family. This is a crucial distinction. The stakes are changed from who has more hits to who is a better music guy by dragging Tiny into the dirt. T is using the moral musical high ground that 50 granted him to motivate his family and followers. Deanna's song Music Ms. used a sample of Outkast. Jackson, which was hailed as a deft surgical move that targeted 50's anxieties instead of just shouting profanities. It proved that the younger generation of Harris family musicians is capable of outwitting and out-rapping 3333 Music, the seasoned mogul within his own realm. But let's talk about the algorithm, music. The word 50 has been used a lot lately. He claims that no one else can figure out the game he's playing. According to this idea, music ensures that the world is already following his site when he debuts a new program or product by using every disgusting and viral incident as fuel for the machine that keeps his name in the press. However, at what cost? When you trade a woman's dignity music and the privacy of her medical information for an engagement, you're not just playing the algorithm. The social agreement is also being broken by you. As the dust settles on this specific chapter, the industry is left wondering if there is a way for music to return to harmony. Tiny hasn't talked much about music herself, letting her husband and boys serve as a shield. However, she claimed that the degree of the emotional damage is demonstrated by her son's defense of her. A handshake between the parties will not settle this dispute. This fight has altered the rules of hip-hop combat. We've also seen that you have to be prepared for the fallout to arrive at your door when you go nuclear. Rather of attacking a rival, 50 Cent targeted a dynasty. At this point, the music smoke clears, revealing what's left. In the entertainment sector, any publicity is good public relations. But the music that came after 50 Cent's nuclear assault on the Harris music family appeared to suggest differently. This was more than just another music-related viral event. People were forced to take sides due to a shift in culture. As the final episode of this drama draws near, the topic music of who won the internet for a diss, who preserved their diss, and a song about who saved their diss are not the only ones. We're still working on our diss. Take music, for instance. Music, I've been looking into it, as everyone is aware. And as everyone is aware, I've been using music to explore that path. Is it Declar to picture me as a cow? We picked it based on the Dick music at Wekwad Flack. It's Flack. You want to see a call with music that is more than greater than music and more than dignity while you are 5 days away from the gun wall. And the implications for hip-hop's elder statesman music's future. The struggle shifted from memes to the next generation when and that was the turning point. I Am King and Damani Music communicated a bullying persona to his boys. Many fans consider Damani's, which comes after Ms. Music Jackson's Music Surgical Strike, to be among the best diss albums of the decade. Damani showed that in a generation that despises music, the G-Unit style of intimidation might finally be finding an equivalent. To be terrified by using a calm musical flow to confront 50's personal family tragedy and the memory of his late mother. The very music kids he was making fun of seemed to outsmart the bully at one point. But the real musical tsunami came when 50 Cent did something he rarely does. He withdrew shortly after the Harris sons rose to prominence in Bertland. He quietly deleted the most objectionable music posts from his Instagram, much like Tina Knowles Lawson did when she stepped in to support Tiny 50. For a musician whose career was built on his refusal to back down or apologize, this quiet said a lot. Was it an attempt to prevent a significant defamation case from being brought about by those medical accusations? Or was it the realization that the public's tolerance for offensive personal attacks in music had reached its zenith? For whatever reason, the deleted posts permanently damaged the narrative. As for him, I Am has put out a number of diss songs, including War and The Right One. He reminded everyone that, despite being a family man and a mogul, he is still a music monarch from the streets of Atlanta who can outsmart his competitors. He managed to settle the whole conflict. 50 Cent was the troll making memes, and was the musician. Hip-hop enthusiasts view that 44444 as a significant musical triumph. Did more than just protect his wife's honor. As his final album, Kill the King, approaches, he defended his musical background, proving that he still has a strong love for music. As we look at the industry repercussions, 50 Music Cent's impenetrable aura has definitely diminished. Music with power and BMF, his TV empire continues to flourish. However, this disagreement has sparked a serious debate concerning the street code against corporate accountability music. Is it feasible to be a high-ranking Hollywood executive and an irresponsible music troll on the internet? 50 Music's small documentary Rumors and Surviving seemed less like a legitimate research project and more like a desperate attempt to use music to weaponize trauma for clicks. For many fans, this was the moment when the trolling stopped being funny and started to feel completely malicious. There is a significant long-term cultural impact. It's the conclusion of the bullying period in music. The tactics 50 used to demolish Ja Rule in 2003 don't have the same effect on music in 2026. The music audience of today values empathy, mental health awareness, and women's protection songs by making fun of a woman's health. 50 wasn't just going after music tiny. He alienated a sizable portion of the fan base that had grown up with music and had overcome that kind of toxicity. Through music, the Harris family came together as one. The father, mother, and boys showed a level of family music hustle that speaks more to contemporary society than the lone music wolf ferocity of the 1950s. Next, what should we do? Has already made it apparent that he is moving on, focusing on his final artistic pursuits and his family's peace. In the hopes that the internet's short memory will erase the nuclear fallout, 50 Cent Music will likely resume his commercial endeavors as usual, even though the revenues are permanent. This dispute showed that even the most influential music millionaire can go too far and that some boundaries can never be crossed again. In the end, the Harris family showed the world of music what true power looks like. This concludes our in-depth examination of the most disgusting post in hip-hop history and the dispute it caused, even though 50 Cent may have gone nuclear. In the Game of Thrones, music acts as a reminder that wearing the crown is insufficient. You must have the personality to back it up. The monarch and the unit might never music be friends again. But the full examination of the nuclear fallout between Monique Cent and the Harris family is the cultural lesson they left behind, which will be researched for years to come. This isn't simply a rap feud anymore. The unwritten rules of the game, family music honor, and legacy are all on the line. But now I would like to hear from you. Did 50 Cent interfere with T? 55 I am. Does one's health and personal life eventually go too far? Or is this just the trolling king of music's scorched earth tactic? Was the Harris family's retaliation justified, or did they fall to his level? Music.